Okay, so where was I? I was just here 2 hours ago, or actually for you, it was yesterday. But we were just here. Which one is it? 1 and 2 and 3. We're done with 4. That's it. That's the binge read. It's over. Uh, 2.5 days. Done. Finished. Till next year. There was a lot of stuff missing from this book, and I guess it was pretty much unnecessary. And you know what I forgot to mention in the previous videos? Oh, before I forget, welcome to the D. Louise book series. This is Christina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy smanchy stuff going on here. So anyways, what I was thinking about was the fact that I hadn't mentioned that if you don't know who the characters are, he has put a family tree in every book. It's been in every book. So I just thought I'd point that out to you. So we didn't get too much of the introduction of all the different family members that we got in the other books. We didn't get all the background stuff right away. What we got was Matthew's new stuff. All right, so this is the mother's book. This is Clarissa's book. And we all know the story of Clarissa's husband being unfaithful. We know Ben's story, Devlin's story. We've been through all those. Please go check out my videos if you don't know what I'm talking about. And Clarissa has hit her 50th birthday. And most of her kids are settled. Well, 2 of them aren't. 2 of them aren't married yet. 2 of them are still single. But the rest of them are married. The rest of them are starting families, having kids, have their estate going. So she's decided that she wants some time alone. She wants to be by herself. She wants to have some personal time, just herself. And she's in this mansion of 5,000 rooms. So she also gets it in her head that she would like a dowager house built just for her. Something that she can call her own, where she can have her own personal space. And in the meantime, a long time ago, when she was 19 years old, she was fancied herself in love with her neighbor. And her neighbor was just a neighbor, a landowner. He wasn't titled or anything, but they did have land, but he was the second son. He wasn't the first son. So he really wasn't going to inherit much of nothing. And he had childhood circumstances. And of course, when she decided to go ahead and marry Staten, Lord Staten, and become a countess, Matthew got a little, he went on the rebellion thing. He met this girl who was very nice and very friendly. He got her with child. He married her, but she died. Her and the child died in childbirth. And Matthew had differences with his parents. He was going through a rebellious stage. He went through all the stuff with the kid, and he split. And you learn all about his adventures in the book. He's been gone for a long time. And he's roamed the world, Switzerland and India and a couple other places that he's been. So you learn his backstory. You learn about all his family and his backstory. But he hasn't seen his family. He's working now as a carpenter in the village. He picked up this talent. He learned this skill. And he's a really good, skilled carpenter. And the villagers like him. And Clarissa has decided that she wants to renew her friendship with Matthew. They haven't spoken in over 30 years. She's a 50-year-old widow. Her children are, all but 2 of her children are settled. And she wants some time alone. She's got 2 children in London doing some stuff. Her parents live down the neighborhood. They're still alive. And Devlin is up at some other estates, and Ben and Jennifer are up at another estate. and they've all got their estates and they're all busy. So she comes back and she wants to just take up her friendship with Matthew again. She wants some time alone. She wants some time, me time. She wants some me time. She hasn't had me time in a very, very long time. So she wants some me time. But she also takes up with Matthew. And they very slowly start a romantic relationship. And they've got this big hurdle. And in this book, it's really not as... It's been hinted at, it's talked about a little bit, it's insinuated. But I mean, even Jennifer and Ben had that hurdle too. And they got past it real quickly. You know, here she is, this countess now. And here he is still down here. And, you know, they're not supposed to mix, but, you know, the town starts talking, and people start writing letters, and the gossiping starts flowing. And one by one, all of her kids show up. And she talks to all of her kids, and all of her kids talk to Matthew. And they've decided that it's her life. She can do what she wants. They're not going to put their foot down. They're not going to say no. It's against the rules. They're not going to do anything. She's their mother. They love her. If she wants to do this, they let her do it. And it's a series of dates. We go on picnics. We do this. We do that. It's a series of getting to know each other, revealing what happened in the past, all this kind of stuff. And I did take several pages of notes, but, you know, I was watching one of those things the other day. How do you do your videos? Do you plan? I plan. Do I actually do them? No. I'm serious. Is it forbidden love? It can't. Why can't a rich woman? And they're equal age, so it's not like she's marrying a younger man. She's just marrying the carpenter. And but he does own property. He's just never lived there. He inherited from his grandmother, and he's got tenants living in this big house. So I just find it ironic that he owns a big estate. And yeah, all right, he's living his own life and choosing to be his carpenter and living in a room above a store in town. And once he marries Clarissa, instead of him and Clarissa moving to his estate that he still owns, so maybe and she's too old for children, obviously. But, so they're gonna go live in the Dowager house. But he still owns the property over there. So I don't know, maybe they'll give it to Owen or something later on. But that's basically it. I mean, I took a lot of notes. They have a lot of stuff with the past come up, but that's just going to be repeating what I've already said. That was like the first hurdle. If Clarissa hadn't been so forceful, I don't know if Matthew would have went along with it. But, you know, they do care about each other. They are good friends. They decide that they are 50 years old. And, you know, we can do what we want. We can't conform to society. And Clarissa says, look, I'm a dowager. I can do whatever I want. And her children support her. And her son Devlin supports her. So as long as he supports her, the world is good. Yeah, the neighbors gossiped a little bit, but they end up getting married at the end of the book. You assume it's a regency. That's what happens at the end of the books. They always get married. There wasn't any tear-jerking moments as in the first two. I mean, the first two I was crying at the end. There were no tear-jerking moments. There was no really massive hurdle. There was just like, you you two, you're different classes type situation. But Clarissa just kept going, no, don't even think, no, not even gonna think of that. And her kids came in and they talked with her. And when she said, I want to pursue this, he's my friend, blah, blah, blah. The kids were like, fine, go ahead. Do what you want. They all kept checking in. Each one kept checking in, and finally Devin checks in, and she says to him, I want a dower house. I want my own place. He's like, this is 5,000 rooms. He goes, you can take a whole wing. She goes, no, she wants her own place. She wants something that she can call her own. So Devin's like, all right, I will build the house. Nope. Don't. You can furnish it. You can pay for the furnishing because it's your house, and you can do what you want with the decorating and the furnishing and the gardens and stuff like that. But it's on my land, so I will build the house. So they compromised that way, and her and Matthew were going to live there. So somebody needs to move into the big house. So we'll see what happens in the next book. Because we still have 2 more kids to go. And there was something else that I saw. A friend of Matthew's, we might see his book come up at some point. But she's too old to have children now. She's over 50. So, but, it wasn't, it was just a, if this had been a contemporary romance, I might have put it down. Because there really wasn't any big hurdles. It was just reacquainting ourselves with each other, forming a relationship with each other, forming a little friendship with each other, getting a little romantic, taking a little boat ride, having several picnics, dealing with the town, dealing with the nosy neighbors. The neighbors come in and go, so, you've been seeing Matthew, huh? And she's like, yeah, we're friends. We're good friends. We grew up next to each other, blah, blah, blah. And the town women are like, all right, fine. You're good. As long as her kids think she's good too. So no one else is going to, as long as Devlin is fine with it. And Lucas, that was Philippa? No. Yeah, Philippa. Pippa married Lucas. And he's a duke. So as long as they're all okay with it, and the book ends with a wedding. There you go. So there was my book for now. I've got to go read where'd it go? We'll see if I can get this done. It's gonna be a few days. And it might be a week. Maybe I'll do Ursula first. I've got a conference. I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get to do during the conference. And I made myself a note. No, next year. No. I don't want to go. But anyways. So what'd you think? I can take my papers out now. These are my markers. Book 1. And book 2. Book 3. Book 4. What'd you think? How was it? Was it good? Did you like it? Read, if you're a Regency person, I haven't read Regencies in a really long time. This was just a short splurge, short binge, because I hadn't read them in a really long time. And I just decided to take a break from the others. But I'm going to go catch up with Ursula first. Yeah, I think I'll do Ursula. She's been sitting here for a couple days now. I need to catch up. Book 19. We'll have to see what happens. Have a good one. Oh, and if you could please like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Thanks.